just from your perspective, being a Division One athlete at Notre Dame, we've talked about that a little bit, but just now Division One rower at Notre Dame, like what does that look like in terms of the level of commitment? And again, this is all Division One teams are probably very similar in the
Sure.
commitment to the sport and how to balance the athletics and the academics, but just with a little bit of a more Notre Dame touch to it, like in the sense that kind of how you look at it, how your coaching staff aligns with that. What does being a Notre Dame rower look like in terms of that level of a commitment and the balance and all these different things and the greater purpose of
Sure.
winning races and also all these other things. Like just take that wherever you want, but like what does Division One rowing at Notre Dame look like?
It's a good question. It's a lifestyle. I think it's probably more than anything else. And we talked about it, like about the blend, right? And it's a choice of how your taste of your college experience and being part of being as a rower or a coxswain here and being part of the team. Um, you can delve into it as much as you want, and some people are do unbelievable amount extra work. At the minimum, it's probably 10 to 11 workouts a week, somewhere around in there. Uh, Somewhat distinct, depending on what your needs are. You might be lifting a little bit more than some others as we start to go into this next couple of years. A little bit more like we need some kids with a little more power, so you might be lifting 3 or 4 times a week. We're on the water 6 days a week. We do row in the afternoons, so that's a little bit different. And we train Saturday and Sunday. We usually take a weekday off, so the people that have labs can schedule their labs during that one day off during the week. Um, but it's really um, it's that sense of being, and it's kind of evolved. We've noticed we've always been a really high emphasis on team, but this last couple of years have been really strong. And part of it is the way we kind of approached like making sure that we have young women coming in that are team committed. And I think that coming out of COVID, people were really striving to be someplace where they feel they can belong and they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And that's probably more the thing that we've noticed. It's like they want to be part of the group, and it's not about the racing and the result. And over the years, you're going to forget about your racings, but you're not going to forget about the time you had with your teammates, the conversations in the locker room, the conversations to and from practice, um, hanging out together socially and whatnot. But I think for us, it's like really strong, really tight bonds, and uh, I think that's what part of it. It's a lifestyle, a choice of doing it. Now, interestingly, at Notre Dame, it's a little like as you come in as a freshman, you're randomly assigned a roommate in a dorm, and you're expected to stay and live in the dorm all 3 years. You can change dorms, but you're not. So you're not most likely going to live with another rower. In fact, I'm pretty sure you're not going to live with another rower or recruited rower at all, and probably won't even be on the same floor. It's part of our university commitment to that sense of community, and you're always part of something bigger than yourself. Now, as people go on, they may live with teammates, but we have quite a few people in their senior year. They move off campus and they're not living with other rowers. They're living with their friends they made in their dorm, or they made friends that they made in their academic side. So on that, I think they have a pretty good sense of balance and that blend that they're looking for. Um, but it's always team first for us, and being part of it, being enthusiastic for people, then they do great performance. I mean, like the racing's great, but I think everybody like on the like actually an test, and we have a big room where everybody can go, and like people cheering on somebody like when she gets to PR, whether she's the fastest kid on the team or she's the 35th fastest kid on the team. It's like that PR and going and being there for them and going after it. So um, I think it's pretty welcoming, pretty good. We have like most everybody returns, like walk-ons, not walk-ons. So pretty much everybody comes back, and uh, So I think that for us and being part of it's being just part of a really great culture where people feel they belong and they feel they can be who they are. And as I said earlier, that they're surrounded by people that have their best interests in heart and want to see them grow and become better people. Now, like I said, that doesn't mean that everybody's always going to be super nice and right, or they may tell you things you don't want to hear, but that's the way it is. And um, sometimes we talk about like being a family, and we're kind of like, well, yes, and in a family, there's arguments at times, there's dispute, but there's always family first. So I think that's for us. We're team first, and we try to strike the right blend and understand it. Like we're here, we're expected to graduate in 4 years. You're under a heavy academic load. Um, we try to make time for you can kind of have some outside time outside of rowing. So like we don't race a lot in the fall, if at all, so that you can experience a football game and you can go and be part of that huge community. But when we're but then we start to roll into the spring or the winter and the spring, then it kind of changes, right? It's really difficult to have a lot of free time from that. So you're pretty much academics and then your athletic side.